Alrighty, right. So I'm going to do two lessons at once. I'll just go through two notebooks here at once because I think they go together. And the first one is, well, the O3 notebook here is just very simple. We are just exploring what the nonce system is and what signing is. So you can think of signing, maybe you might know that like many years ago, people used to send letters between one another. And to identify the authenticity of who that letter came from, people used to have seals. In China, they had these jade seals, and I guess in Europe they used the wax seals to they were unique to every sender, so you could know that this message came from you. And that is the simple idea between the authentication that Ethereum uses. And if you're a little bit familiar, Hyperliquid uses something simple. The nonce system is simply for a number that has been used once, and that is keeping track of all the transactions that are waiting for one another. On Ethereum, these are sequential. That means it's just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 967,355, 967,356, etc. And on Hyperliquid, this has to be a lot faster than that. So they simply use the timestamp. They keep track of the 100 highest nonces per signer, and it might be executed out of order. That means maybe 95 and 96 and then 93 and then 100 and then 97 and then 101. They all get all executed, but they might interleave. All right. So you can get a nonce and you can get your timestamp. This is simply a Unix timestamp, and this will be unique, of course. And the reason for that, I think I read somewhere on the Hyperliquid, well, they have a really great documentation. I highly suggest it. But somewhere they explain the reasoning of this is that for you as a trader, it might be more important to know when an order was placed than the simple ordering of that order. And also, they have some idea about security, which I forgot what the reasoning behind that was, but it supposedly protects you from attacks that would interleave the orders as well. All right, then we sign into your F account. We do the same thing. There's a neat little library that you can use from Ethereum that prints your wallet, and these should be different addresses. Of course, that is my wallet address. It doesn't print a secret key, so I'm not too worried about this here. And we do the signing, we verify the contract, and then we can also use the Hyperliquid SDK. And I will show you how to use that SDK in the next notebook. And for that, we just move on in this video. And let me go here. Yeah. So we go on the Hyperliquid docs, and you can Google this, but I think it's best if you follow the link. And instead of just Googling it, because if I remember correctly, Google shows, for example, the VLC or VLC, the video player, shows the wrong repo, and the one that people download is actually malicious. So since then, I have a habit of trying really to find the very official correct links, because you never know what might happen and that. Okay, so you go get the SDK. If you don't have it, you can pip install it here. I'll show you a trick in case you haven't installed the requirements. You can add an exclamation mark and then simply copy, paste, or write pip and execute terminal commands, right? And this, if you add the exclamation mark, this will actually execute a terminal for you. Right, that is that. I don't know how I made two cells over here. Okay, we do the same thing again. We get the account, we initialize the exchange object, which is a class, if you remember, and everything gets stored, our secret key, the base URL, the account address, we get the wallet address, we have the secret key, you get your info API, we check that this works. We still have, as you can see, $998.89. That is because I ran this notebook just before, and we lost 3 cents in the transaction fees of buying and selling earlier. All right, we get the mid prices, you know how this works. And now the interesting part is we can set the leverage, all right? And you remember this is a class that has built-in functions, and this is why I wanted you to know how to make this, because so now you understand what is working under the hood. Because the Hyperliquid API, the SDK is pretty much just what we built before, but more elaborate, including everything that we have over here, right? I mean, all the info endpoints, all the exchange endpoints, the WebSockets, you can call everything from the API. And the thing is, they just did exactly the same thing as we did over here, but better, bigger, and now you can use it. You also know how to extend it, because you can just play with it and add functions, and that is how you call it. Okay, so the exchange object got initialized earlier. We can now update the leverage. We can set the cross. If cross is false, which is a Boolean variable, then you will have isolated leverage. And so you can see we set the leverage to 3x, and we are in isolated mode. We get a response type. If you remember this from the very first lesson, that is the API telling you that the request was received. And now I will send it. And okay, we got an okay. That is a 200 response. Everything is all right. So now we can place a limit order. We This is how it works. You can check good until canceled, immediate or cancel, add liquidity only, and find out what this is on the Hyperliquid API. In general, if you trade, that is the same as you work through these. Oh, okay. You can actually not see my mouse, I see. Okay, I've been showing you things with my mouse, and I just realized that you do not see it. Okay, I cannot mark, but okay. So just it's the same as the UI on the left, and it works the same way. Okay, so now we want to place an order. We place this at we get the current price, which is the current F price that we got earlier, and then we round it by we multiply it by 95, so that is 5% below the current price. Okay, and we set this order, and you can see the current price was 2906. We got a little bit delayed, and we should have the order now. Okay, it was placed, as you can see. So now we have a current long order at 5% below the current price. And let's see if this matches 2748.2, 2748.2. Perfect. And this price is 5% below market. You get the response. You should remember this from before. Everything we've gone through already. The status type is simply checking, and you can check the order ID, check if it's okay, if it was filled, means you have the limit order placed, and well, someone bought or sold it to you, and you now are in position. We are 5% below the current price. I set this so it doesn't get filled, and we can go to the next step. Check the open orders without being afraid that it will be filled, and I cannot continue with this lesson. And now we can cancel the order, and you can check. Okay, now you see my mouse. And you can check over here and see that it will disappear. All right, so we have 0 open orders, and you can see that this matches in the UI on the left. Now, the next thing that you can also do is place market orders. And market orders simply mean that you will go below or above a certain price, and you maybe don't care. Like if you buy, you just buy now on anything that will sell to you until your order has been filled. If you sell now and you will continue to sell until your whole order has been filled. I highly recommend against doing that, because in general, the markets in crypto are very volatile. I can see, of course, sometimes when you know this will just win or lose something, and you really don't want to wait, or you're afraid of losing out. But in general, patience pays off, and that type of greediness usually does not. Anyhow, we should cover it because I guess that is the 50% of how to work with this as well, and you can just not leave it out. Right, so I will place a market order, and you will see that it gets immediately filled because the exchange does not care about price, and that is exactly why I tell you, please don't do this. Ta-da! We have a market order that was filled just now. Um, and this is here. We are now 0.01 F in the position. The average price that was returned is 2,910.88, lucky number, and the order ID. We can check our position and see that it matches, that position is still open, and we can close this position. And after we close it, the position disappears, and we should have made a little bit of a profit, but we did a market order, and well, there's slippage, and of course we have the exchange fees. So do we have any other open orders? No, everything is closed. Um, Another important thing to note is that we have a minimum order size that you should check. There are if and else statements that can prevent you from sending orders that are not the minimum notional of $10 usually, but it depends on the asset that you trade in the market. But mostly on Hyperliquid, it's a $10 notional minimum. And you can check the decimals, the rounding errors, because they, depending on the size, can make quite a big difference if you round. And say for 100 million, even if it's 0.01%, that is still fairly significant, especially if you buy and sell a lot. All right, so this was it. You can play around with it, stay on testnet, do as much as you want, try to even test some strategies or other things that you could do. And then the next lesson will be building a bot and working with simple mean reversion. And I will try to take my time with that one.